They say pregnancy is supposed to be the most beautiful time in a woman's life. They lied. I was 8 months pregnant with my first child, glowing and grateful, surrounded by friends and family at my baby shower, when she walked in, my husband's mistress, also 8 months pregnant, also carrying his child, 2 women, 2 babies, 1 lying husband. This is the story of how my baby shower became a crime scene, how I delivered my daughter and divorced my husband in the same month, and how I became a single mother before I ever became a wife. My name is Jasmine Carter, and I'm going to tell you about the day my entire world imploded while I was eating pastel-colored cake and opening gifts wrapped in teddy bear paper. But first, I need to tell you how I got there, because the signs were there all along. I just didn't want to see them. I grew up in Houston, Texas, in a working-class neighborhood where everyone knew everyone, and your business was everybody's business. My mama was a nurse at Ben Taub Hospital, my daddy worked for the city's sanitation department, and my 2 older brothers were both in the military. We didn't have much, but we had love, real love, the kind that shows up when you need it, not just when it's convenient. I was the baby, the only girl, spoiled by my brothers and protected by my parents. I was also smart, really smart. Graduated high school with a 4.0, got a full scholarship to University of Houston, majored in accounting. I wanted stability, wanted a career where I could support myself, never have to depend on anyone. That independence? That's what attracted Darren Carter. I met him during my senior year of college. He was 26, I was 21. He worked in pharmaceutical sales, drove a nice car, wore expensive suits, had that smooth confidence that makes women stupid. He pursued me hard. Flowers to my apartment, surprise lunch deliveries during my study sessions, texts that made me feel like the most important person in his world. "You're different," he'd say. "You're not like these other girls. You've got your head on straight. You're going places." I believed him, because I wanted to. Because after 4 years of struggling through school, working part-time jobs, eating ramen and stress, I wanted someone to see me, to value me, to choose me. We dated for 2 years. Good years, or so I thought. He supported my career, came to my college graduation, helped me celebrate when I got my CPA license. When he proposed, on my 23rd birthday, I said yes without hesitation. We got married 6 months later. Small wedding, just family and close friends, at a hotel in downtown Houston. My mama cried during the vows. My daddy shook Darren's hand and said, "You take care of my baby girl." Darren promised he would. He promised a lot of things. The first year of marriage was adjustment, learning to live together, combining finances, figuring out how to be partners instead of just boyfriend and girlfriend. We had our moments, arguments about money, about whose family to spend holidays with, about little things that become big things when you're trying to build a life together. But we were happy, or I was happy. I can't speak for him anymore. I got a job at a good accounting firm, started building my career. Darren was doing well in pharmaceutical sales, making good money, getting promotions. We bought a house in Pearland, a suburb south of Houston. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a yard. The American dream. We started trying for a baby when I was 25. I'd always wanted to be a young mom, wanted my kids to grow up with energy and adventure. Darren was on board. "Let's make a baby," he'd say. And it felt romantic and exciting and like the next chapter of our story. It took 6 months to get pregnant. Not long in the scheme of things, but long enough to make me anxious. When that pregnancy test finally showed 2 lines, I screamed so loud Darren came running from the other room thinking something was wrong. "We're having a baby," I said, crying and laughing at the same time. He picked me up and spun me around, both of us crying, both of us so happy we couldn't contain it. "We're having a baby," he kept repeating. "We're going to be parents." I called my mama first, then my daddy, then my brothers. Everyone cried. Everyone was so happy. This baby was already so loved, and they weren't even born yet. The first trimester was rough. Morning sickness that lasted all day. Exhaustion that made me feel like I was moving through concrete. Emotions that swung from joy to terror sometimes within minutes. But I powered through. Went to every doctor's appointment, took my prenatal vitamins, read every pregnancy book I could find. Darren was attentive at first. Came to the early appointments, rubbed my feet when they swelled, made late-night runs for whatever weird food I was craving. He seemed excited, seemed invested. Looking back, I can see when things started to change. Around month 4, when I started showing, when my body started transforming from the woman he'd married into something else, something softer, rounder, focused on the life growing inside me instead of on him. He started working later. More business trips, more networking dinners, more time away from home. "I'm building our future," he'd say when I complained. "I'm working hard so you can take maternity leave, so we can afford daycare, so our baby has everything they need." It sounded noble, sounded like sacrifice. So I believed him. By month 6, I barely saw him. He'd leave before I woke up, come home after I was asleep. We'd go days without a real conversation. When I tried to talk to him about baby names or nursery plans or anything related to our upcoming parenthood, he seemed distracted, disinterested. "You handle it," he'd say. "You're good at planning. Whatever you want is fine with me." At first, I thought he was just stressed about becoming a father. Men process things differently, I told myself. He's probably scared and doesn't know how to express it. But the distance grew. And with it, this gnawing feeling in my gut that something was wrong. Not just wrong between us, but wrong in a bigger way. My friends organized a baby shower for month 8. My best friend Monica, who I'd known since high school, took charge. Rented out a beautiful event space, invited everyone. My family, Darren's family, friends from work, girls from college, church ladies who'd watched me grow up. "This is going to be perfect," Monica said while we were planning. "You deserve to be celebrated, Jazz. You're about to be a mama. That's a big deal." The theme was Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Gold stars, soft yellows and whites, elegant but whimsical. Monica had thought of everything. Games, decorations, a photo backdrop, a candy bar, a catered lunch. It was beautiful. The shower was on a Saturday afternoon. I woke up that morning feeling huge, 8 months pregnant, swollen feet, back aching, but happy. Excited to celebrate with the people I loved. Excited to open gifts for my baby girl. We'd found out we were having a daughter at the anatomy scan, and I'd cried for an hour thinking about all the things I'd teach her, all the ways I'd protect her, all the love I'd pour into her. Darren was supposed to come to the shower, at least for a little bit. It was co-ed, and a few husbands were coming. But that morning, he said he had to work. "On a Saturday?" I asked. "Client emergency." "I'm sorry, babe. I'll try to stop by later." I was disappointed but not surprised. This was the pattern now. Work always came first. I got ready, put on the maternity dress Monica had helped me pick out. Flowing, pale yellow, made me feel pretty despite being the size of a house. Did my makeup, curled my hair, looked in the mirror and thought, "I'm doing this. I'm about to be someone's mother. I'm ready." Monica picked me up at noon. The shower started at 1. We got there early to check the setup, and it was perfect. Tables decorated with star confetti and gold balloons. A gift table already piling up with wrapped presents. A chair decorated like a throne for me to sit in while I opened gifts. "You like it?" Monica asked. "I love it," I said, tearing up. "Thank you for all of this." "You're my sister," she said. "Of course I'm going to throw you the best shower ever." Guests started arriving at 1. My mama and my aunties, bringing more food even though we'd already catered. My daddy and brothers, looking awkward in a room full of women but trying. Darren's mother, his sister, some of his cousins, friends from work, from church, from different chapters of my life. Everyone was so happy, so excited for me, hugging me, touching my belly, telling me I was glowing, asking if I was ready. "As ready as I'll ever be," I kept saying, laughing. We played games. Guess the baby food flavor. Baby bingo. Don't say baby. Everyone got a clothespin, and if you said baby, someone could take it from you. Silly games, but fun. Everyone was laughing, eating, celebrating. Around 2:30, Monica announced it was time to open gifts. I sat in my decorated chair, feeling like a queen, surrounded by love. My mama sat on one side of me, Monica on the other. Darren's mother was across from me, video recording everything for Darren since he wasn't there. I started opening gifts. Tiny clothes that made everyone awe. A baby monitor from my parents. A stroller from Darren's parents. Diapers. So many diapers. Books, toys, blankets. Everything our daughter would need, provided by people who loved her before they'd even met her. I was opening a gift from one of my coworkers, a beautiful handmade quilt, when I heard the commotion by the door. Someone had arrived late. I could hear Monica greeting them, sounding confused. "I'm sorry, who are you?" Monica was saying. "I'm here for Jasmine's baby shower," a woman's voice said. "Is this the right place?" I looked up, and that's when I saw her. She was young, maybe 24, 25. Black girl, lighter skinned than me, long straight weave, full face of makeup, wearing a dress that was clearly maternity wear, because she was pregnant, very obviously heavily pregnant, as pregnant as me. She walked into the room, looking around like she belonged there, holding a gift bag, smiling. "Hi," she said to the room. "Sorry I'm late. Traffic was crazy." Everyone was staring, because no one knew who she was. Monica stepped forward. "I'm sorry, but I don't think you're on the guest list. Are you sure you have the right baby shower? This is Jasmine Carter's shower, right?" the woman said. "For her baby girl?" "Yes, but then I'm in the right place." She looked directly at me, and I saw something in her eyes, something that made my blood run cold. "Hi, Jasmine. I'm Keisha. Darren's Keisha." The room went silent. Completely, absolutely silent. Darren's Keisha. Like I should know what that means. Like that explained anything. "I'm sorry," I said, my voice shaking. "Do I know you?" "Not yet," she said, walking closer, still smiling, still holding that gift bag. "But we should definitely know each other, since we're having our babies at the same time, by the same man." I couldn't breathe. The room was spinning. My mama grabbed my hand, squeezed it hard. "What did you say?" I whispered. "I said I'm having Darren's baby. Same as you. We're due the same month, actually. Isn't that funny? He's been so busy going back and forth between us, making sure we're both taken care of." I watched her say these words, watched her mouth move, but my brain couldn't process them, couldn't make them make sense. "That's not possible," I said. "Darren is my husband. We've been trying for this baby for months. You're confused. You must have the wrong person." She laughed. Actually laughed. "Oh, honey, I'm not confused. Darren Carter, pharmaceutical sales rep, drives a black Tesla, lives in Pearland, has a mole on his left shoulder blade. Should I keep going? The mole. She knew about the mole, a detail only someone intimate with Darren would know. "You're lying," I said, but my voice had no strength behind it. "Am I?" She pulled out her phone, started scrolling. "Here's a picture of us from last weekend, and here's one from Christmas. Oh, and here's the ultrasound of our son. Yes, I'm having a boy. Due in 3 weeks. How far along are you?" 8 months, I whispered. "So, about the same. Looks like Darren got us both pregnant around the same time. Busy man." She was still smiling, like this was funny, like destroying my life was entertaining. My mama stood up. "You need to leave. Right now." "I'm not leaving," Keisha said. "I'm here to celebrate, to welcome my baby's half-sister into the world. Since our kids are going to be siblings, we should be friendly, right?" "Get out!" Monica screamed. "Get the hell out before I throw you out." "You can't throw me out. This is a public venue. I have as much right to be here as anyone." That's when my brother Marcus stepped forward. All 6'3", 220 pounds of him. You heard them. "Leave. Now." Keisha looked at him, looked around the room at all the angry faces staring at her. And finally her smile faded. "Fine. But Jasmine, you should know the truth. Darren and I have been together for over a year. He told me he was leaving you, that the marriage was over, that once the babies were born, he was filing for divorce. He's probably telling you the same lies he told me. But at least now you know. You're not the only one." She put the gift bag on a nearby table and walked out. The silence she left behind was deafening. I sat there, 8 months pregnant, surrounded by people who loved me, holding a handmade quilt, trying to understand what had just happened. "Jasmine," my mama started. "I need to call Darren," I said, pulling out my phone with shaking hands. I called him. It rang once, twice, 3 times. He didn't answer. I called again, and again, and again. On the 5th call, he finally picked up. "Babe, I'm working. Can this wait? A woman named Keisha just showed up at my baby shower," I said, my voice eerily calm. "She says she's 8 months pregnant with your baby. She says you've been together for a year. She says you told her you were leaving me. Is any of that true?" The silence on the other end told me everything. "Darren, is it true?" "Jasmine, I can explain. Is it true?" "Yes," he whispered, "but it's not what you think. She's pregnant with your baby." "Yes." "For how long? How long have you been cheating on me?" 14 months. "But Jasmine, it didn't mean anything. It was just..." I hung up, dropped the phone like it had burned me. My mama was crying. My daddy looked like he wanted to kill someone. My brothers were already pulling out their phones, probably trying to find Darren's location. Monica knelt in front of me, took my hands. "Jazz, we need to get you out of here. Let's go home." "The shower," I said stupidly. "We haven't finished opening gifts." "Forget the gifts. We need to get you home. You're in shock." She was right. I was in shock. I couldn't feel anything. Couldn't process anything. I just sat there, 8 months pregnant with a baby whose father had another baby on the way, and I felt nothing. My mama helped me stand. My daddy grabbed my purse. Monica coordinated with the venue about the gifts. Someone would pack them up and deliver them later. People were crying, hugging me, saying they were sorry, offering to help, offering to kill Darren. The usual things people say when your life explodes. They got me to the car, got me home, got me into bed. My mama stayed with me, lying beside me, holding me while I stared at the ceiling. "Mama, I'm having a baby in a month," I finally said. "And I don't have a husband. You have us," she said. "You've always had us. That baby is going to be so loved, Jasmine. We're going to get through this." "How? How do I get through this?" "One breath at a time, one moment at a time, one day at a time." Darren came home that night. I heard his car in the driveway, heard the front door open, heard him calling my name. My daddy met him at the bedroom door. "You need to leave," my daddy said. "This is my house too." Darren said, "I need to talk to my wife." "You lost the right to call her your wife when you got another woman pregnant. Get your shit and get out." "Mr. Johnson, please." "Let me explain." "There's nothing to explain. You betrayed my daughter while she was carrying your child, while she was vulnerable and trusting you. You're lucky I'm a civilized man, because what I want to do to you would land me in jail. I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is leaving the toilet seat up. Getting another woman pregnant? That's a choice. Multiple choices. Now leave before I stop being civilized." Darren must have heard something in my daddy's voice because he left. I heard him packing a bag in the guest room, heard the front door close, heard his car leave, and then I cried. Finally, I cried. Sobbed until I couldn't breathe, until my mama was worried I was going to go into early labor, until I had nothing left. The next few weeks were survival. I had to keep living, keep working, keep preparing for my baby girl who was coming whether I was ready or not. I called a divorce lawyer on Monday. Her name was Angela Harris, and she specialized in what she called high-conflict divorces. "How far along are you?" she asked. 32 weeks. "And he's having another baby at the same time?" "Apparently. She's due in 3 weeks. Texas is a community property state, but infidelity can affect the division if we can prove he used marital assets to support his affair. I'll need bank statements, credit card records, anything that shows he spent money on her. I spent that week gathering evidence, found hotel receipts, restaurant charges I didn't recognize, cash withdrawals, A whole financial trail of his double life. Keisha had her baby first. A boy, like she'd said. I found out because Darren's mother called me, crying, apologizing, telling me she didn't know, asking if I was okay. He's telling everyone it was a mistake, she said, that Keisha trapped him. But Jasmine, I know my son. He made these choices. I'm so sorry. 3 weeks later, I went into labor. 2 weeks early. But the doctor said that was normal given the stress I'd been under. My mama was with me, my daddy, Monica. My brothers took turns in the waiting room. Darren tried to come to the hospital. Security stopped him at my request. I'm the father, he yelled. I have a right to be there. You lost your rights when you got your mistress pregnant, the security guard said. And I loved that security guard. Labor was 18 hours. Painful, exhausting, terrifying. But I pushed through. Literally pushed through. And then she was here. My daughter. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect little face, tiny fingers, my mama's nose. She's beautiful, the nurse said, placing her on my chest. And she was. So beautiful it hurt. So perfect it made everything else worth it. Hi, baby girl, I whispered. I'm your mama. I love you so much. I'm going to take care of you. I promise. I named her Imani. It means faith, because I needed to have faith that we'd be okay. Darren met his daughter when she was 3 days old. My mama arranged it, said he had a right to meet his child, even if he didn't have a right to me. He came to my parents' house where I was staying, held Imani awkwardly, like he didn't know what to do with her, cried and said he was sorry, said he'd messed up, said he wanted to fix this. There's nothing to fix, I said. We're done. You're going to be in her life as her father because she deserves that. But you and me, we're over. Jasmine, please, I love you. I made a terrible mistake. You have a son, a 3-week-old son with another woman. While I was pregnant with your daughter, you were sleeping with her. While I was planning our future, you were building a different one with someone else. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. Multiple choices. I choose you, he said desperately. I choose our family. You chose yourself. And now you get to live with those choices. The divorce took 8 months. 8 months of lawyers and mediations and arguments over custody and child support and division of assets. Keisha testified in the divorce proceedings, told the court about their relationship, about the promises Darren had made her, about the money he'd spent on her. He told me he was leaving his wife. She said, that they were done, that once the baby was born we'd be together. He lied to both of us, looking at her across that courtroom, both of us with babies born within weeks of each other, both of us betrayed by the same man. I felt something unexpected, not friendship, but understanding. We were both victims of Darren's selfishness. In the end, I got the house, most of our savings, and primary custody of Imani. Darren got every other weekend, child support obligations, and the mess he'd created. Keisha got sole custody of her son. Darren barely saw him. Turns out, being a father to 2 babies with 2 different women is harder than he thought. That was 5 years ago. Imani is 5 now, in kindergarten. Brilliant and beautiful, and the best thing I ever did. She knows her father, sees him occasionally, but she doesn't understand yet why she has a brother she rarely sees, why her family looks different from other families. One day, I'll explain it to her. One day I'll tell her about the baby shower where I found out the truth, about being pregnant and betrayed at the same time, about how her mama picked herself up and built a life anyway. But for now, she's just my little girl, and I'm just her mama, and that's enough. I never saw Keisha again after the divorce was finalized. I hope she's okay. I hope her son is okay. We were both collateral damage in Darren's selfishness. Darren tried to apologize over the years, tried to explain, to make excuses, to justify what he'd done. I don't listen anymore. I don't care anymore. He's Imani's father, and I'm civil for her sake. But that's it. My mama asks sometimes if I'll ever trust anyone again, if I'll ever date, ever get married, ever give Imani siblings. Maybe, I say, someday, when I'm ready, but I'm not ready. I'm still healing, still rebuilding, still learning to trust myself again. People ask how I survived it, how I made it through being 8 months pregnant when I found out, how I delivered a baby and divorced a husband in the same month, how I became a single mother before I ever really became a wife. The answer is, I didn't have a choice. I had a baby girl depending on me. So I survived. For her. My name is Jasmine Carter. His mistress showed up at my baby shower, 8 months pregnant, just like me. She destroyed what was supposed to be the happiest day of my pregnancy, but she also gave me the truth. And the truth, as painful as it was, set me free. I lost a husband, but I gained a daughter, and clarity, and strength I didn't know I had. Keisha thought she was ruining my life when she walked into that baby shower. She thought she was showing me that I wasn't special, that Darren had replaced me. But she actually saved me from wasting more years on a man who wasn't worth it, saved me from raising my daughter in a house built on lies, saved me from a future that would have been nothing but betrayal after betrayal. 5 years later, I'm okay. Better than okay. I'm a mother, a CPA with my own clients, a homeowner, a woman who survived the worst kind of betrayal at the worst possible time. And Amani? She's loved, so deeply loved. By me, by my parents, by her uncles, by Monica, who's basically her aunt. She has family, real family, the kind that shows up, the kind that stays. That baby shower was supposed to celebrate my daughter's arrival. Instead, it became the day my marriage died. But my daughter lived, thrived, and so did I. And that's the story no one tells you about survival. Sometimes the worst day of your life is also the beginning of your best life. You just have to be brave enough to walk through the fire. I walked, I survived, and I'm still here. Imani and me against the world. And we're doing just fine.